Hi everyone, welcome back to Misinformation in Science and Society. Here to listen, not to judge. I'm Annie, and today with us we have epidemiologist Dr. Tobias.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you? Of
I'm good. Um, Thank you for the opportunity for me to speak with you.
course.
So should I introduce myself, or do you want to introduce yourself?
You can go ahead first. Tell me what we're doing here, who you are.
Okay. I'm Annie. I'm a rising junior in high school. I live in Illinois. And then I'm doing this project because I noticed a lot of like misinformation online, especially like being on social media and stuff. Um,
For
and so
sure.
I'm just trying to find people from all kinds of fields to like talk to about this. And then um yeah.
Do you want me to go next?
Sure, that would be great.
Okay. So I am an epidemiologist, and what that is basically research involved at the population level, looking
Mhm.
for trends and statistics related to exposures and their potential effect on important health outcomes. So we have heard a lot about epidemiology than ever before the last couple of years in the context of COVID. And that's essentially, identifying a disease that's on the rise and trying to understand at the population level what its causes and preventive strategies
Mhm.
might be. So my area of focus is chronic disease rather than infectious disease like a virus. What my interest is more long-term diseases that take years or decades to develop, like type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, cancers, and what role diet and lifestyle might play.
Okay, that's really cool. So may I ask, like, why did you choose this career?
That's a great question. I don't know that it was something I set out to really get involved in this way from the beginning.
Mm.
I was always interested in science. I loved biology and medicine and kind of the whole, all the subjects and courses that went along with that,
Mhm.
everything from physics, chemistry. I was pre med in undergrad and thought that med school would probably be the path that I wanted to go. But looking back, I think most of that was probably because I didn't really know what other options were out there. And if I had known what epidemiology or public health were, I think I would have, like from the beginning, steered in that direction because I think very bigger picture rather than one-on-one individual patient in my clinic sort of perspective.
Yeah.
And when I kind of discovered or stumbled into epidemiology, it really clicked that that was what I liked most in terms of the thinking about problems and through solutions and about the science. What is that overall picture? So after undergrad, when I was not going to medical school, because I had some positions where I was thinking, I'm not really interested in the one-on-one patient clinician type of career.
Mhm.
A job after undergraduate is where I really kind of fell in love with epidemiology.
That's so cool. Um, so so more about like information. Why do you think truth is like so important, and why do you think misinformation is such a big issue like right now?
I mean, I think for pretty much any area of science or politics or social media, there really is just so much information at your fingertips that it's this era of almost too much information, and you can find an answer that fits whatever sort of preconceived conclusion you might have already had. So I think a lot of people will go to the internet just to like confirm that what they have isn't COVID or whatever
Mhm.
answer they want. So you can pretty much find whatever answer you're looking for.
Mm.
to fit whatever you hope to find to begin with. Um, and so I think because there's so much out there, it's just easy to build whatever narrative or story you want, regardless of whether it's true or not.
Mm. Yeah, it's just like kind of choosing what information you like want to read and like and stuff like that. Yeah. So, would you say that there is a lot of misinformation in like epidemiology, like your field? And if so, like how do people in the field try to like tackle or like avoid it?
Yes, that's a great question. There's two parts. Like, would I say there is misinformation? Absolutely. And then the second, what do a scientist do to tackle it or avoid it? I think is, a different question altogether. But whether we have it or not, I think absolutely, especially in areas of obesity and nutrition. So many of us, especially here in the United States, are attempting to lose weight at some point in our life.
Mm-hmm.
Over half of Americans at any one point in time are. And, if you have the ability to just look up anything on Google or your smartphone and see what it says, you can find just about any diet out there that makes claims for pretty much any health outcomes,
Uh-huh.
but especially, just general well-being and weight loss in particular. So that, is very much Wild West in terms of the internet and what can be found. Even beyond the dark corners of the internet on pretty, high traffic, common media outlets like, even USA Today or daytime TV shows, you can see a lot of misinformation. And I think a lot of that is difficult to really identify if you're just an everyday consumer sitting at home or looking for a real honest answer to a problem that you might be facing. I wish I had enough time in my day to go around and correct everything I stumbled across that was making false claims. But it's, kind of a little bit of a case of whack-a-mole where you can just spend all day doing that basically, and it'll just keep
Yeah.
coming, unfortunately. So I don't know. I think that there are a lot of real scientists very eager to address this era of misinformation. I don't know if I've seen any kind of effective solutions on how to do that yet, though.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what do you think the worst type of misinformation is? Like about what?
Um, that's a great. I mean, I think that anything that manipulates people's health,
Mm-hmm.
and that comes with a price tag, so that individuals are promised something, maybe a cure or a treatment or a weight loss regimen,
Mm-hmm.
um, and they have to pay out of pocket for that. I think that really hurts. I think that kills me the most when you see like an app cost $60 a month or something, or some diet book that will claim to reverse Alzheimer's, and or all of this misinformation
Mm-hmm.
um, is out there. But when it comes with a price tag for the consumer, that seems to really bother me the most, especially if it's someone who is in a particularly vulnerable state health wise,
Mm-hmm.
where they're really looking for an answer for a loved one or for themselves and willing to pay anything or do anything. And if it's an empty promise, that's really just to scam them on some money, then that's, I think, really the lowest of the low. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So, we've talked about like how like technology and like the internet has like a huge impact on like misinformation. So, do you think that without the internet, there wouldn't be information at all, misinformation at all, or like, um,
I mean, there have always been these snake oil salesmen, right, that have been in around for centuries, that
Mhm.
someone has a cure that they'll sell someone that really does nothing,
Mhm.
move on to the next town before the person catches on. I think that motive will always be there. I think it makes it particularly easy to just disseminate more widely in
Mhm.
the technological era. But I think it's always existed in some form of an era, some form or another, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Um, but it is very easy to manipulate with the big online platform. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. Um, so I think, yeah, I think that's pretty much all the questions I have about misinformation. So, may I ask who is your role model, if you don't mind?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, um, in my career, I've had some fantastic mentors. I
Mhm.
was very lucky right off the bat in graduate school to have a mentor who kind of quickly took me into his lab and allowed me to participate in some projects. And that's Dr. Frank who was an associate professor in the nutrition department at the Harvard Chan School when I was a master's student, and then was fully supportive of me staying on for my doctorate. I did my postdoc with him. I
Mhm.
eventually moved across town under the guidance of a different mentor and for a faculty position, but we still, collaborate on quite a bit, and I turn to him for a lot of advice. But I think it's really important to have good mentors that not just tell you what to do, but also give you, the resources and the skill sets to do it on your own. I think
Mhm.
it's really important to set the next gen up for success. And if you just do everything for them or tell them all the answers, that's not going to necessarily do it. So I think he was very keen on having me and the other lab members and mentees that he trained just really kind of gain that independence
Mhm.
early on and learn for ourselves, kind of research wise and innovation wise what was important, but also providing a lot of support and resources along the way.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'd say he's definitely a great role model.
Mhm. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was like a good point. Like with me and like my younger siblings, like when they ask me for like help with like math and stuff, like my parents like tell me to just like not just tell them the answer, like teach them how to do it and like some resources too. So yeah, I resonated with that. Um, so just to close this out, do you have any advice for people, especially like teens?
Career wise or misinformation wise in
Anything.
general,
Yeah, anything.
I would say remember if you're a teenager that you're a teenager and have fun,
Mhm,
and hopefully you're not too stressed out about misinformation and you're doing this wonderful service, but able to still go out and have a good time
mhm,
and enjoy being young because it goes by in the blink of an eye.
mhm.
And I think it's easy to take for granted. But I think, it seems like you have a fun goal here with your platform, and I hope that your viewers really do learn a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're
I
so welcome.
um, so yeah, I think that will be it.
Okay,
Thank you for this. I really enjoyed it, and I think you like provided a lot of good like perspectives. That was really interesting. So
awesome.
thank you.
I enjoyed it. All right, well, have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.